If I had to describe the state of the global economy in one word, I'd probably go with rudderless.
Fragile.
Crony-esque.
Flux.
I think the global economy is an interesting phase at the moment. It seems to be beginning finally to recover in the West. The emerging world has not sped ahead in the way many of us wanted, but it's still got hope.
We have sort of put out the financial fires that were flaring up across the system over the past half-decade, but we haven't really solved a lot of the fundamental problems. There are enough hazards left in the global economy that the odds are decent that something may go wrong.
The theme of the conference is the state in the economy, and ever since the crisis we've seen regulators and the government get more involved in the economy, both to prop up demand and also to try and eliminate excesses we saw in the run-up to 2007.
Financial globalization has gone into reverse. The assertive role of the state has gone beyond just things like financial stability, how do we prevent the next crisis, to much more strategic, security and criminal related things.
We've gone on a bit of a regulatory binge, which has increased the burden for companies, and it's really changed the rules over global capitalism.
I think there is a fundamental question about what exactly the role of the state should be.
I think there are going to be a few key things that investors need to keep an eye on over the next few years.
One hot topic is what happens when the Fed starts raising interest rates.
What happens when central banks wind down the support that they've been bringing to the market?
I think the biggest challenge is what is the appropriate way to act in the market and what is the inappropriate way to act in the market.
The rise of geopolitical risk again.
Are politicians able, willing, bold enough to do the tough reforms that are necessary to boost economic growth rates?
The most urgent issue facing the economy is the gap between Main Street and Wall Street.
A lot of people look at bankers and think they played such a large role in the previous crunch. And so there is a difficulty between, on one hand, trying to get the best out of these people, on the other hand, being aware of the political costs of doing so.
I think the temptation for governments is to micromanage things or to try to solve each individual problem that kind of popped up. And I'm not sure that that's going to work.
What is my recommendation to policymakers who currently are in a position to reshape the American economy? In a word, they should resign. The more they go away, the better things will get.
I would tell government officials that they should focus on Winston Churchill's statement of 1926. I would rather see finance less proud and industry more content.
We need a new revolution in terms of what the state provides and how it does it.
If I had to bet on one economy, it would be America.
If there's one country that I am watching like a hawk, it's India.
America would be the best bet over the next 10 years.
Many of us are always intrigued by Estonia.
It's always been a mistake to bet against the US economy, and I think that probably remains the case now.
I think Buttonwood's always interesting because you bring together these thinkers, these economists, these academics, bankers, financiers, and it works as a kind of melting pot.
I think my hope for the Buttonwood Gathering this year is that I'll sort of discover something that I hadn't been paying attention to.
What Buttonwood does every year is bring top speakers together so that those who are interested in finance and economics can hear the views of the people who really move markets and move economies.
We are trying to come up with ideas, solutions, criticism sometimes, for the way the system works.